Good morning, everyone. As you can see the title down below, today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life story. And it's a lot in the story that I'm going to leave out because I don't want to make the story too long. But it's been time for me to tell you guys a little bit about me instead of y'all judging me by, the cover. So today, I want to tell you guys that growing up as a child, 3 years old, me and my twin sister came to Baltimore. After coming to Baltimore, we lived with our grandmother, and my grandmother and her husband, which is my grandfather, he is from Baltimore. So coming to Baltimore with my grandmother, we lived with her because my grandmother had custody of me and my twin sister. So she had us since we was 3 years old. My mom had lost custody of us because she was getting high for real. She was doing drugs and whatever. So she decided to give us to her mom, and my grandmother decided to bring us from Virginia to Baltimore because we are originally from Virginia, Portsmouth, Virginia. So after coming to Baltimore as a 3-year-old child, we lived with my grandmother, and my grandmother decided to move in with one of her daughters, which is my aunt. One of my aunts. My aunt took us and we stayed with her for about 2 years. My uncle was there, my aunts was there. A lot of aunts and family members stayed in the same house for years. So after living in the house for years, my grandmother and my grandfather decided to get their own house with me and my twin sister, and we decided to live with them. So after living with them, my aunt, which is the one that we moved in with, my Aunt Renee, she had moved in with my grandmother, and me and my twin sister and her 2 daughters, which is our cousins, they moved in with us. So my aunt decided to have, a boyfriend sometimes, maybe a husband here and there. So she had guys in and out our lives as we was kids. But no, we did not have a father around. I had a father, but he was never around. He just came in here and there. So back to that, after them moving in with us and stuff like that, we lived there. My aunt decided to have a guy we call our godfather, whichever, we used to call him our godfather, but he had a lot of money. We was kids, so we thought he had a lot of money and stuff like that. And he used to let us come over his house, me, my twin sister, my 2 cousins, Mookie and Michelle, and my so yeah, he used to invite us to his house and all types of stuff. So we used to go over, and he used to let us come swimming and do all types of stuff that kids don't usually do at their parents' house. Because our kids was our parents was really, they was getting high and doing other things that they wanted to. So who thought about saving money to take their kids swimming and, stuff like that. So, yeah, so he used to do things to us and, make us kiss him and, stuff like that. And fill on us and make us pull our shirts up and stuff like that, like look at our breasts. And as a little girl, I just felt like he was just violating us. So long story short, I didn't want to go over there anymore because the simple fact, he was just in violation of my body, and the family wouldn't have never believed it because they was getting high. He was giving them money just for us to be able to come over and go swimming and basically do all the things that kids want to do and stuff like that. So moving on, my grandmother had passed when I was about 11 years old. So me and my twin sister had to move with my aunts. After moving with my aunts and stuff, my mother was in the process of getting clean so she can get us back. So after moving with my aunts, we stayed with them for 2 years. And during the 2 years, that's when the abuse started, when my aunt used to just get mad with us. Because after my grandmother died, we never used to, we didn't get a chance to, just get over the fact of her being gone, as the person that raised us, as we was, you know, her kids. As a child, we was 3 years old when my grandmother had us. So losing her at 11 years old, we understood the pain of losing her. So after losing my grandmother, we had to live with her sister family, which is her sister and her sister daughters and stuff like that. We ended up living with them, and I could tell you the first couple times it was nice. The first year it was okay. We got disciplined. Of course, my aunt disciplined. She also was a school teacher, so she went to our school with us, but she used to just go overboard with me and my twin sister. Like, it was other kids that lived in the house, our other cousins, but she used to just go overboard. Like, she'd slap us in our face until our eye turned red with blood clot in my eye. Like, she slapped me in my face in school over something so petty. And to this day, I'm 36 years old. I will not forgive her for doing that, because it was like she just did it because she couldn't get high. And my aunt, she got high and she still was a school teacher, but you know, it is what it is. And also she stomped my sister over a candy bar because she couldn't get high. And it was just times that we went through at their house. Like, we ate ooze and noodles for 2 years. That's why I don't eat them, because I was made to eat them Monday through Sunday. That was breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me and my sister. But everybody else got to eat Murray's Steakhouse and barbecue chicken every Sunday. But we sat there and ate ooze and noodles and shit. Like, it was just times that I've been through the abuse mentally, physically, and emotionally. And it's been a lot mentally on me, because how can you move forward for from so much that you've been through as a child, that you could not even help yourself, that you needed help as a child and nobody wouldn't want to help. Nobody didn't help you. They basically abused us and treated us bad, made us wear underwear from the thrift store, and you know, it was just very, you know, we never went on vacations with them. When they went there, leave us behind, like leave the twins behind. And growing up as a child, me and my twin sister was always called black and ugly. So, because we were so dark in school, people used to, you know, tease us and pick with us and, you know, call us black and ugly and stuff like that. And it really bothered me during the time when I got older. I just was like, isn't black and ugly? Like, it just, you know, as a mind thing, mentally, you would want to second guess. It's like things like that. So moving on from that topic, after my mom getting clean and she getting herself together, because me and my twin sister had got locked up when we was living with my aunt at a school fight. We got locked up for like 3 months, and we went to a girls' home, which is the girls' facility for, you know, fighting and stuff like that. So me and my twin sister ended up experiencing being locked up for 3 months at an early age. At 13 years old, we got locked up. And basically that was the worst experience for us. You know, we did get to learn a lot of stuff about, you know, structure and hygiene and stuff like that, because remind you, we didn't have really nobody to teach us that stuff. So our mom was not around. Nobody taught us how to change a pad. Nobody taught us what happens when your breasts are knotting up and stuff. Like, nobody taught us that type of stuff. Like, nobody read us nighttime stories and bedtime stories and, you know, stuff like that. So because my mom was getting high so much, it was just like, it was crazy. So basically, after that, long story short, moving on, I experienced not only that as a child growing up. Let's see, it was times that after being arrested and whatever, we moved back to my aunt's house. So after moving back to my aunt's house and whatever, we stayed there for about a good few months. We stayed with them for almost a year. We stayed back with them until my mother was finishing her program and getting clean. She was living in a women's shelter during that time. So after living in a women's shelter, she got clean and whatever. Me and my sister was able to come down there and stay with her on weekends and stuff. We always talked to my mom and told her everything. Also, we was getting to know my mom, the mom that was clean, you know, because we always knew her as a person that was getting high. We never got to see the mom that was, you know, head on and, you know, got herself together and stuff. It's not high. I could talk to her. I can get her right opinion and stuff like that. We didn't have that mom at first. So when we got that mom, I was just letting her know, me and my twin sister, like what we was going through during the times that she was not there, how we was being abused, and you know how our, you know, aunt used to slap us in the face, and how she stomped my sister. Still left bruises on my sister till the day over a Butterfinger, yo, that my mother brung her. And I just feel like the things that we went through with them, I would have thought that we didn't, you know, we would have never experienced that as being little girls and had to go through that. It just not fucked my life. It didn't mess my life up, but it made me feel like, wow, who cares about us? Like, nobody cares about us. Like, me and my sister in this together. Then my mom ended up having another baby, and my little brother, he was like sick and whatever because she relapsed. So after her relapsing, my aunts ended up getting custody of my little brother. And during that time, when she got custody of my little brother, the ones that we was living with, we couldn't really touch him. They was acting funny with him and stuff like that. It was just crazy. It was a lot of stuff that we had went through as little girls and being mistreated at their house when we was with them. No, we did not get hugs and kisses and, you know, stuff like that. We did not get that. We did not, nobody didn't really care to love on us and treat us like little girls. They just treated us as, oh, I'm giving you a place to stay. So moving on from that story, we moved with my mom, and, you know, she used to call the cops all the time because me and my sister was, you know, we was basically not ganging up on her as far as argumental with her, but it was a lot of things that bothered us that she didn't understand when we used to have sit down conversations and talk about, express our feelings, and, you know, things used to get heated. So she used to call the police and stuff, and, you know, the police to come out, and it used to be the same police all the time. So the same police used to come out to the house all the time and be like, y'all need to stop and do this and do that. And he showed so much like he really cared about us. So basically, long story short, she used to let them know, like, if y'all get a chance, if y'all can stop by, make sure my kids go to school, make sure they, you know, gone and everything, like, make sure they go to school, like, and they not just sitting out here and not doing nothing. So the same officer used to come past all the time and knock on the door and be like, well, hey, is your mom home? Just to see if my mom home. The whole time he really was trying to have sex with me. So long story short, he used his authority just to make me give him oral sex all the time. Make me, you know, it was like every other day he'd knock on the door, nobody even called the cops, and he used to make me, you know, give him oral sex. And it was just to the point it was like I blanked out. I just started not caring about nobody understanding how I felt. If I was going to tell on him, nobody wasn't going to believe me. It was like he wasn't the only officer that was doing that to me, making me feel violated, making me do things that I did not want to do. And by them being the people that you thought that would be there to help you, basically they just, you know, decided to take advantage of you and make you do things that they wanted for their sexual needs. And, you know, as a child, I just felt like 14, 15 years old, like, who's going to believe me if I go to somebody? So I did start talking to my doctors, and, you know, I started getting therapy because it started making me act out in school. And, you know, and it was like I started not caring about school, because then when I was going to school, I had a teacher that my 11th grade teacher, he used to help me all the time, my math teacher. One day he told me to stay back, and he was going to help me with my homework and stuff. and so I can get my grades up. And he was going to give me a 90, but I just got to do what he said, basically. So I was doing exactly what he's saying, making sure I get to school, making sure I do stay. I don't care if I leave school early or not, making sure I do stay for his class so I can get my grade up in his class, because I was doing good in school. It's just I was sidetracked because a lot of things that was going on outside of school, I could not help that. I had to be a grown woman before it was time. I had to do things that I did not want to do because I was made to do it. And it was like, who could I talk to? Like, my mom, she done called the cops on us, and these cops out here making us do stuff that we don't want to do, sexual favors to them. And to this day, it's mentally, it's like, it bothers me. It bothers me. It stopped the growth in my life. Like, I stopped going to school because of my teacher made me have oral sex with him, and for a grade change. And it was like, during that time, I did not know how to speak up for myself, because I had family members that used to yell at me all the time and scream in my face. And basically that was the way of them saying that that's how they disciplined us. They used to slap us and, do things like that. But it was things that we went through that made it so that I was not incapable of saying, stop, no. And it was like, always, I thought this person was there to help me, not to harm me, to hurt me. And in the back of my mind, I started not caring no more. So I stopped going to school, and my grades started failing. And I did decide to sign up for Twilight School, and that did not work out, because then I had an older boyfriend that was not in school. He was about 25 years old, and I was like 17 years old, and still been, took advantage of by older guys, and abused and molested, and my family was abusing us as kids. It's like our grandmother died, our mother was out there getting high. Like, who could I turn to at that time? I did not know who could I turn to. The police, they wanted sexual favors from us, and like, who could we go to for help? Like, no one. I didn't know no one I could call and, confide in. So I tried to confide into church. I tried to do therapy. I tried to do a lot of things, but it still have not set me up for today of why. Like, why did I have to experience this? Why did I have to experience not being able to finish school and be the person that I wanted to be and have a career and be successful for my children, so I wouldn't have to be on social service and would live off of state insurance and stuff like that. It was like, it put a pause in my life and made it so that sometimes I'm here and then sometimes I just blink out. Like, who am I? So a lot of times when I do things, it's not for attention, it's just that's how I feel at that time. You don't know my life, you don't know what I've been through, you don't know my story, so you need not to judge me. You need to just know that I'm keeping it 100 with you. And it's like, a lot of people don't understand, when you keep it 1,000 with a person, they don't like to hear the truth. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, the things that me and my twin sister went through, we should not have experienced and went through it as a 7-year-old child, as an 8-year-old child, as an 11-year-old child, as a 14-year-old child, 15-year-old child. Officers, firefighters, teachers, and everything took an advantage of us for no reason, just wanted to have sex with us and, make us do sexual things. I had 2 other officers at different occasions that made me do sexual things and took me to their house and, made me have sex with them. And I told them no, and they kept doing it. It's like, who can I tell? They don't believe me from the first one. I went to my therapist. I talked to him. I even had a police conversation, investigation done, and I was talking to someone. I reached out to lawyers and everything about my situation, because it was just putting me in a deep depression to the point, like 8 years ago, I wanted to commit suicide, because the simple fact, I felt like nobody loved me, like nobody cared, like who cares about me? Like, I just felt like dying, because I just was living in this little circle like I felt like I couldn't get out of. So, you know, growing up and having my own kids to the day, it just made me feel like for somebody to do that to a child that can't say no, or for a person that can't, you know, defend itself, it's hurtful. Like, I cannot get over. I will never ever forgive. I'm sorry, not forgive. I will never ever forget the way that my family treated us, and I will never ever forget what was done to me by officers, by teachers, by firefighter. I just will never forget it because I felt like I was violated for no reason. During the time I was just a young girl growing up, I just wanted something in life, didn't have no guidance, but went to authorities for help. And what they did, they wanted us to have sex with them. They wanted us to do things to them that we did not want to do. And me and my sister, we was grown as little girls. Yes, we was. But at the same time, we was only like that because we had no guidance. That don't mean for a grown man, 30-something years old, to take advantage of. So moving on with my life, I decided to just leave the situation alone and try to get over it and, you know, move on from the situation. But it didn't get no better. Like, I started just having panic attacks and, you know, times that I was just angry for no reason. And I just started seeking, you know, help and therapy and stuff, and talking to someone, letting them know the things that I was going through and everything like that. So a time came, I was just sitting home one day. It was probably like a couple years later, after me just trying to get myself situated and find myself. A couple years later, after getting myself out of that abusive relationship that I was in, he had did this to me, cut my hand open. I had got away from him and moved on in life, and I met my husband like 3 years later. After meeting my husband, I ended up having children and stuff like that. It was like, as me having children, I was like, I couldn't think about myself anymore. I had to think about my kids. I couldn't think about the things that was bothering me or hurting me. And the inside, I had to put it on the back burner. But deep down, I knew that those things were still bothering me. So I decided to go ahead and get some more therapy as me having children. I got some therapy and talked to someone, you know, that's basically can understand and relate to where I was coming from professionally. And I did it for about a year. Then I went back and I stopped getting therapy, and I started just not feeling like it wasn't helping. And I got in my deep depression that I was like, you know what, I gotta get myself together. If I can't do it with no one, I have to do it for myself. Not just for myself, for my kids. Like, I love my kids. I don't want my kids to have to be here without me. So I started getting myself together. So one day I was working at the hospital, and I seen the officer that did the things that, like the one that raped me, I seen him. And when I seen him, we locked eyes. And I was like 8 months pregnant when I seen him. It just straight put me in a deep depression. I was like basically having an anxiety attack, crying and wanting to leave work and go home. Nobody understand. Nobody will never know what I'm going through or mentally what I've been through. So basically, I went home, I talked to my husband, I let him know the situation, what happened, how I seen the officer and everything like that. And he's just, you know, he's not probably an officer anymore, which he wasn't, the other one, but I do have one that is still an officer to the day. And like I said, I'm still out here seeking justice for my situation, because I feel like not only I went through that situation, what if their kids or someone close to them is afraid to tell the story of what I've been through or what they've been through, because they feel like no one is going to believe them. So right now where I'm at is just trying to move on and seek justice and try to keep a positive mind and for my kids, and basically hopefully one day I can sit back and write a book and let women know, not only women, protect women from being abused. And you know, hopefully it can give them some help or some guidance on how they can come forward, or you know, just let it out, because like I said, we only got one life to live. But who wants to carry that stress on them the rest of their life? Like, God blessed me with 6 beautiful kids, and I want to enjoy it, but I can't enjoy it because one year I'm working, next year I'm not working, because I'm mentally destroyed, because I get in a deep depression that I can't be around the public, or I'm angry but nobody understands. Like, everything gets on my nerves. Like, it's like I'm getting to the point now that I'm trying to get help, and hopefully get someone that can understand me, because I have not got no therapist right now that I can really connect with. I had one, but she retired, but I haven't found a therapist yet that I can really confide in and talk to, and hopefully that can understand me and know why I'm seeking justice at this time for my situation. I want to get over it. I don't want nobody else's child to go through what I've been through. I have a child now that's 14. I don't want her to experience what I've been through. I want her to come to me and tell me everything that happens to her. So I just want to stop all this abuse and rape and neglect and everything for all these women that's grown up out here, young women that's grown up out here. Please tell your story. Make it known. Whoever it is, don't be afraid. Like, step up to the plate. What could it do? Like, I'm just tired of hiding in a circle. I want to be outside and have a good time and smile and be happy with my children and, enjoy, the good times too. But it's like, how can I when I got a person that's still walking around happy-go-lucky, taking trips and vacations and, with their children, but done so much to me to stop me from growing. Like, if anybody understand where I'm coming from, Lord have mercy, please comment down below. Please understand where I'm coming from. Please understand why I'm seeking justice for my situation, so that I can move on in life. It's not nothing to do with anything else. It's about moving on mentally for my children. If you understand where I'm coming from, if you've been through what I've been through as a woman, you will understand where I'm coming from. But on that note, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you give it a thumbs up, and also I hope you comment down below.